Riverton High loved to crown their bullies like royalty. Tyler with his broad shoulders, Brittany with her fake Barbie smile, and the rest of their lapdogs barking behind them. And when Naomi walked in with her frayed backpack and brown skin, they didn't see a student. They saw fresh meat. In their words, another thrift store black girl who should have stayed on the south side. They thought she'd flinch, cry, or beg for mercy. But here's the joke. Those quiet hands they mocked for holding books had once been drilled by an MMA coach. Her father didn't raise a victim, he raised a weapon. And if Riverton's self-appointed royalty wanted a show, they were about to get one they'd never forget. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. First day on campus, and Riverton strutted like it was untouchable. Red brick walls gleamed, hallways polished like glass, and the air carried that fake pride only money can buy. But underneath? The same old circus. Cheerleaders cackling, boys in basketball jackets stomping around like they owned the ground, and every stare locked on the new black girl who clearly wasn't one of them. Naomi Carter, 16, curls pulled back, jacket too thin for the cold, walked through the gate holding that beat-up backpack like it was her only shield. She wasn't trying to start a war, she just wanted to survive the day. But Riverton wasn't built for quiet girls. Halfway down the hall, 4 of them blocked the lockers like security guards at a club. Tyler, the self-appointed king, leaned forward with a smirk. Brittany twirled her perfect blonde curls and let her voice slice through the air. "Where'd you get that backpack? Goodwill's dumpster?" Ethan and Kyle howled, their laughter echoing off the lockers like hyenas. Naomi tightened her grip and lowered her head, hearing her mom's warning. "Don't make trouble, sweetheart. We can't afford it." So she slipped past, silent. But silence in a place like Riverton? That's blood in the water. By lunch, the insults got sharper. Tyler called her ghetto girl. Brittany whispered, "Careful, she might steal your lunch." And the whole table erupted. Naomi's sandwich hit the floor, and the cafeteria howled. She didn't fight, not yet, but her eyes, cold, calculating, waiting. Day 2 at Riverton, and the hyenas were hungrier. Naomi walked in, hoping to blend into the noise, but blending wasn't an option when Brittany was already leaning on her locker, skirt hiked up like the hallway was a runway. Her blonde curls bounced as she sneered, "Look, the thrift store mascot is back. Did your mom iron that jacket with a rock?" Ethan and Kyle howled on cue, like trained clowns desperate for attention. Naomi clutched her straps tighter and kept moving. But isn't it funny how ignoring them never shuts them up? Instead, it fuels them. By lunch, Tyler slid his tray across from hers, soda splashing onto her sandwich. "Ghetto girl, this is how it works. You either fit in or you get out." Brittany leaned in, her eyes glittering like a viper's. "That polyester rag you call a jacket might clean my shoes better than it covers you." Ethan grabbed Naomi's book and waved it in the air. "Fairy tales? What's next? You gonna cast a spell to buy yourself a real backpack?" Laughter exploded. Naomi bent down to grab her fallen lunch, crumbs sticking to the floor. Her knuckles tightened, but she heard her mom's voice again. "Don't make trouble." But how long can anyone swallow venom before they bite back? Naomi stood, eyes cold, scanning Tyler's chest. Not out of fear, but calculation. Could he tell she was measuring pressure points? Of course not. He thought he'd won already. The bell rang, saving her from the moment. She slipped out. But isn't it wild how every escape only sets the stage for the next trap? Gym class was proof. Brittany deliberately dropped the ball at Naomi's feet, her voice syrupy sweet. "Come on, throw it back if you're not scared to get those dirty little hands filthy." Naomi bent, picked up the ball, and tossed it. The throw was too perfect, straight, sharp, precise. For a split second, Brittany's smile cracked. Did she just realize the bookworm had aim? But then she laughed, covering the tremor in her voice with a fake giggle. "Guess the monkey knows how to throw after all." Naomi turned away, her pulse racing. Not from shame, but because she knew she had just slipped. Her precision was instinct. And Riverton's bullies. They weren't dumb enough to ignore it forever. By the third morning, Riverton looked calm on the outside. Sunlight through the tall windows, kids scribbling notes in class. But everyone knew the stage was set. Tyler strutted into science late, smirk already locked on Naomi. He yanked the chair beside her and dropped into it like he owned the desk. "Library girl," he muttered, leaning in close. "Thought you could keep avoiding us?" His voice dripped mockery. Naomi didn't answer, her eyes on her notebook. But can silence really protect you when a predator smells blood? Tyler slammed his hand on her desk. "Look at me when I talk, girl." She raised her eyes, calm, icy, not flinching. For half a second, his smirk twitched. But pride wouldn't let him back down. "So you've got a little bite," he sneered, his fingers suddenly grabbing her collar. The class froze. Chairs squeaked, whispers cut short. Isn't it insane how teachers never see the moment bullies choose their stage? While formulas scrawled across the board, Tyler's hand slid higher, both palms clamping around Naomi's neck. "All it takes is a squeeze to shut up a weak girl like you." The words dripped venom, each one a racial dagger. Naomi's breath caught. But panic? No. Her vision sharpened. Years of drills replayed in her head, angles, pressure points, leverage. Her father's voice whispered, "If they choke you once, don't let them do it twice." And then, movement. Swift, exact. Naomi rotated her wrist, locked onto his hand, pivoted, and dropped her weight. The twist snapped through his arm like lightning. Tyler recoiled with a howl, nearly tipping his chair. Gasps erupted across the room. Brittany's mouth fell open. Ethan and Kyle stared pale as ghosts. Naomi smoothed her collar, her voice cutting sharp. "Touch me again, and you'll regret it." The room went dead silent. In that pause, Riverton High learned its king wasn't untouchable. And the new girl? She wasn't prey. But can you humiliate a bully in public and expect them to let it go? That smirk may have cracked, but the storm behind his eyes promised this wasn't over. Friday afternoon, the halls emptied, lockers slammed shut, and Riverton's courtyard grew quiet. Naomi was packing her books when a folded note slid onto her desk. "Gym, 4 p.m. Tyler." Every word was a fuse. Everyone knew Tyler didn't talk. He hunted. So why go? Because silence only feeds predators. If she kept avoiding him, they'd keep circling. When Naomi walked into the gym, light streaked through the tall windows, bouncing off the polished floor. The smell of sweat and chalk still clung to the air. And waiting for her? Tyler, arms crossed, smirk carved across his face. Ethan and Kyle flanked him like bargain bin bodyguards, while Brittany leaned against the wall, phone already recording. "Well, the warrior's here," Brittany mocked, her voice dripping poison. "Let's see if the ape fight's as good as she pretends." Tyler lunged first, grabbing for Naomi's shoulder. She pivoted, arm hooking his neck, and swept his legs clean out. Thud. The crash echoed through the gym as the so-called king hit the ground. Ethan yelled, charging forward. Naomi stepped back, weight grounded, and snapped a front kick square into his chest. He stumbled back into the bleachers, wheezing like a broken accordion. Kyle froze, palms up. I'm good. I'm not in this." His voice cracked, fear dripping through every word. Isn't it crazy how lapdogs bark loud until the fight gets real? Naomi didn't even look his way. She walked straight toward Brittany. The phone shook in the girl's hands, her fake confidence dissolving into tremors. Naomi snatched it, thumb holding down until the footage vanished. She shoved it back, her voice sharp as steel. "Next time, don't expect me to hold back." The gym went silent. Tyler groaned on the floor. Ethan crouched against the wall. Kyle flattened himself out of sight, and Brittany stood frozen, her mask of superiority shattered. Naomi grabbed her bag and walked out, each step echoing the truth. She wasn't prey anymore. By the next day, Riverton buzzed with whispers. Naomi took Tyler down in the gym. Brittany dropped her phone. Ethan couldn't breathe right for 5 minutes. To the kids who had been silent victims, she wasn't just the new girl anymore. She was proof the bullies could bleed. Naomi didn't smile at the gossip. Sitting by her apartment window that night, notebook open, she simply wrote, "Day 5. I didn't want to fight, but they forced me, and I won." And for the first time, her father's words didn't feel like memory. They felt like prophecy. If this story lit a fire in you, hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and make sure you're subscribed, because more stories of justice are coming. And trust me, you won't want to miss them.